To get started, I'm going to review some essential skills you may need to know when working with effects. Now, if you've been using Premiere for a while, you'll probably know most of this stuff, but hopefully you'll pick up a tip or a trick along the way that will help you edit faster. So the first thing we're going to explore is something called fixed effects. Now, these are actually effects that are already on every clip that is in your timeline. Now, if you go down and select the clip in your timeline and make sure that you load the clip from your timeline into your source monitor. As you see on my screen, I have a different clip in the source monitor than I do in my program monitor. So I'll simply double click on that, and now I know I'm working on the clip from my timeline. Now, if we step over to the next tab, which is the Effects Control tab, I see some effects that are already there. These are on every single clip, no matter what. These fixed effects are motion, opacity, time remapping, and in the audio part, volume and panning. Now, inside the motion disclosure triangle, you see exactly what it does. You can move position, you can scale it bigger or smaller, you can rotate it, you can change the anchor point, which is the point that you rotate around. And these are things that you may want to do either numerically or you can do them visually. Now, to do it numerically, it's fairly obvious. You can go over to the left side of your screen in the Effects Control panel and either type a number in. So if I wanted to say make this 50% of its original size, I can simply click on it and type in 50 and hit enter. And as you see, my image has scaled down to 50% of its original size. Now, another way that I can adjust, for instance, the scale is these virtual sliders. If I hover my mouse over the number and I click, but I don't let go, if I move my mouse left and right, I can actually use this as a slider. Now, some people find this is a little tricky to work with. If you do, go ahead and click on the disclosure triangle next to the word scale, and you'll see a nice big slider that you can work with. Now, that's good for the folks that like to use numbers and need to have things pretty precise, but when I'm editing, I'm pretty much a visual person, and I like to make these adjustments in the program monitor. And you can do that very easily as long as you know one or two tricks. And there's two ways that you can activate the ability to adjust in the program monitor. The first thing you can do is you'll notice next to the word motion, there's a little box. And when I click on that box, inside my program monitor, I now see like a bounding box. And once I see this, I can grab the clip, move it around, so I'm moving its position, and you'll notice that as I move it around, the numerical values of position are changing. If I grab it by the corner, I can actually scale it up and down, and if I wanted to, I could put my cursor right at one of the corners, and it changes to a curved arrow, and that allows me to rotate my image. If you don't want to open up the Effects Control panel and just want to get to the point of manipulating scale, size, rotation, opacity, you can do that. First of all, let me go ahead and turn that off. I'm going to just click outside the clip, and as you see, those lines aren't there anymore. To get those lines without stepping into the Effects Control panel, all I need to do is double click on the clip and I see these points. So as you see, you can modify many aspects of a clip, its size, its position, its rotation, its opacity, without even applying an effect with just the fixed effects that are already on the clip.